Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om. The instruction given to me is to speak on finding purpose and meaning in the second half of life based on Bhagavad Gita. Looks like a topic for some thesis. So I am glad. So is bahane little bit of thinking may happen. So someone said the very practical thing about spending the second half of life is 2 points only we have to remember. One, be happy, and second, don't die. Because only then second half will happen, So it will be called second half. So I am not making it up. Actually, someone told me that this is the most practical advice. But how is it? Because the topic also says it should be based on Bhagavad Gita. Conditions are very perfectly given. So, so when we say death, death is not just the death of the body. And when we say happy, it is not just a state of mind. Both these things, Bhagavad Gita teaches us how not to die and how to be happy. Both Bhagavad Gita teaches us. Going into the second, third, fourth, and the rest of the chapters of Gita, of course, Bhagavan has given lot of instructions, etc. But from the first chapter itself, these 2 points we find even in the words of Dhritarashtra also, in the words of Sanjay also, in the words of Arjuna also. So we'll try and explore little bit. In the very first verse, Dhritarashtra asks Sanjaya that having gathered in this Kurukshetra, which is a dharma kshetra, means that's a very sacred land, the sons of Pandu and my sons, what did they do? This is the question. Now, as soon as we start thinking about my sons and someone else, means mine and others, this difference, this is one type of death. Why? Because is my personality or existence or identity a divided identity, or do I live one life? This is a very important thought, that is it a divided existence or one whole existence? We often call ourselves being pulled apart by various parts of life, various relationships, various activities, various responsibilities. I am very pulled apart. But even if life may appear to pull us apart, but we at the end of the day have to live one life only. It has to be integrated. I cannot afford to make divisions and give equal reality to all these divisions and say that I will live a fragmented life, because a fragmented life will ensure sorrow. So it is an integrated life only that will help us be happy also. So the very beginning of the Gita gives us this advice that I cannot look at life in a fragmented fashion. I have to have a whole picture. I may have different relationships, but in spite of all these relationships, I still am one person only. Let us say a woman is called a daughter by the parent, is called a sister by the sibling, is called a mother by the child, is called a wife by the husband. Now these names are all different and the relationships are all different, yet the person is one and the same. I cannot say now I am the wife, so mother should go away for some time. When I become a mother, the daughter should go away for some time. This cannot happen. I am one person. That is, this gives us a very, very important understanding even in our spiritual pursuit. My relationship with God or walking the spiritual path as a seeker, the identity as a seeker, if that also has been waiting in the first half of my life, saying I will pick it up in the second half. So that also is, actually I have fragmented. I have said retirement ke baad karenge. So that I have pushed behind. And this fragmentation, sometimes we don't understand why am I under so much of stress. Maybe this part of my personality is never integrated yet. I still feel that, someone has to initiate me, or at some particular time and some circumstance, that is when I will be able to walk my spiritual path. My spiritual pursuits will be possible only if I give up all these things. But a spiritual seeker also is one aspect of my personality, and I am one and the same. So just by these Dhritarashtra's words, Mamakaha Pandavaha, separating things and looking at life as fragments, I have myself created sorrow for myself. I am identified with a part and not the whole. I say Pandu's children are not mine. But what do they call me? Uncle. So how are they not mine? So I am identifying with a limited part of what I really am. And as soon as I become limited, there is sorrow. Sanjaya, in this first chapter itself, tries to indirectly or subtly convey things to Dhritarashtra by various means. Now we are not going into those details, but he also says that the condition of Duryodhana was not great. It started off with a lot of stress for Duryodhana. Later on he described Arjuna, and Arjuna came into stress later. Initially he was very confident. So in this view of life also, Sanjaya is blessed with a Divya Drishti, a divine vision. What does it mean by having divine vision? We say that, Sanjaya was blessed with divine vision. I don't have, otherwise I would also understand things that way. Divine vision means a complete vision. To be able to see the larger picture. And when I just step back, zoom out and look at the entire picture, I find that, all these things are a part of me, but none of it by itself can affect me, because I am the one which is the cause of their existence. That zooming out and getting that entire overview is so important. And this is Sanjaya is teaching us. Even if we have not done this so far, at least now we should start zooming out, looking at the larger picture. Where have I been so far? Where do I want to go? Where do I stand today? And how do I proceed? This entire picture has to come. And there I find what is more significant, what is not that important. There's a very powerful statement that Puja Guruji often makes. Amidst the routine and urgent, the important gets lost. Amidst the routine and urgent, the important gets lost. And all of us don't need any explanation of this statement, because we have ourselves made our choices very often this way. Routine, repetitive, I have to do it. Urgent, immediately required. But important, I'll do it later. Typically, what happens when we wake up late in the morning? First casualty, my sadhana, japa, puja, all these things. I'll do it in the evening. I have to rush now. I will never think of skipping breakfast. Japa, I will skip. Breakfast, no, then I have acidity and all those. I won't be able to work properly. So let me have breakfast. Puja, I can do in the evening also. Okay, do in the evening, no problem. In the evening, oh, evening, I'm so tired, my mind will not be, that state of mind which is there so fresh in the morning, now so tired and all, it won't work. Let me do it tomorrow. So the important gets lost. Suddenly something urgent comes up. Oh, I have to attend to it. I am not saying urgent matters do not need to be attended to, but in that, the important need not get lost. So this aspect, and that what is important and what is just routine, how will I recognize? Sanjaya vision I need to have. I need to have that zooming out ability, that I'm looking at life and saying there are more important things. Let us say I have a small disagreement with someone or an argument with someone. That argument need not change into a quarrel or need not change into a breakup of any relationship. I can zoom out and say, a trivial matter after all. How does it matter? It's okay. Because I am looking at something larger. This happens so much in relationships. This Bhajagovindam, it also actually talks about this, having a complete vision rather than seeing life in fragments. There, Shankaracharya talks about one particular experience or one particular aspect. He says that there is an age that comes when suddenly I start feeling, okay? It's not the world. I start feeling maybe I am not as useful to the world or the family as I used to be earlier. It is not the family that is saying, it is not the society that is saying. I start feeling, why? I am growing old. My abilities are all, and then typically those people who have lived a complete child-centered life. Everything is child. Now child flown away from the nest. What do I do? I don't know what to do. I have nothing to do. So what should I do? I think I need to find purpose and meaning in the second half of my life. So what do I do? Because that one focus of my life gone away. And then suddenly I feel I am useless, I am worthless, I have nothing to do, I have no goal, I have no activity. Why? Because that focal point, now obviously the child grows up. Obviously the child has its own pursuits, its own journey. So he or she would go to the university or go for a job or get married or whatever happens, and then I'm saying, now what do I do? And nowadays this term has become very famous, empty nesters. We are all empty nesters. The fledglings have all flown away now. We are looking at each other. In spite of the fact that Bhagwan, in the form of COVID, gave us an opportunity to look at each other and be happy. But still, so the point is, that moment when I say, I think I am not needed for life, I start feeling low all of a sudden. But then when I zoom out and say, Arey, this was just one part of life, very good, I invested all my energies, all my attention in that, and I did my best, very good, but my life is much more than just that. There is so much more to do. And there's something very interesting. If I feel I am, I have nothing more to gain and why should I live and all. The principle is, nature will never keep anything useless. We all know that. Anything that is useless, nature will throw it out. It goes extinct. We all know. One leaf also, as soon as it gets dried up, the tree will let go of it. A fruit, if it is ripe, okay, but when it goes overripe, the tree will drop it. So nature has this habit of throwing out whatever is useless. Now every morning, if I am in that category that I feel that I am worthless, I have no purpose, I have nothing, what do I do? Every morning if I wake up and find, oh, I am still alive. If we want, we can ask someone, Hari Om, you can say, and then others respond. Then we say, no, I am really alive, because they also can see me, So if I find I am alive, I have to remember this principle, that the nature has kept me alive, given me today, means I am not yet useless. So if I am not yet useless and I have no personal agenda to fulfill, because I don't have anything to gain, all my center of my life and all my activities, everything is gone. Now what do I do if I have nothing more to gain and I am still alive, and I understand that if I am alive, then I am not useless, which means I have to be useful to society. That is what it means. So this zoom out is going to help me to understand that I have to play a role which is more and more meaningful, and if not for myself, for society. But why should I sit down and feel low and feel, oh no, I don't know what to do in life and I have no goal and all. If you don't have goal, others have goals, help them fulfill their goals. Be useful to them. So in whatever way we can, and we will discover. It is that rediscovery of oneself that is needed beyond a limit, because otherwise we are, and very interestingly, and this is not just for people in first half, second quarter, third quarter, nothing, irrespective of anyone, unfortunately, all of us are more sincere towards others than ourselves. And if we are on the spiritual path, this is glorified as being selfless. But the reality is, we are more sincere towards others than ourselves. So when we say others have to, I have to meet that person, so I will get up early, I will get ready, I will rush and I will meet that person. Bhagwan sitting in our altar, he says, can we meet tomorrow early morning? Bhagwan, sorry, you will have to wait. No. Okay, my own doctor says that your health demands that you have to live like this. I don't want to eat this. But social convention. I don't drink. I only social. To give others company I am doing. So means others are more important. And all of us without an exception, we all hear this instruction on the airplane. But how we live? And then we glorify. I'm so selfless. I am ready to burn out. I am ready to die while serving. Why should you die if you are serving? You live if you have to serve. This typical Bollywood dialogue. मैं तुम्हारे लिए जान भी दे सकता हूं. किसको चाहिए मुर्दा? मैं तुम्हारे लिए जी सकता हूं, ऐसे बोलो तो जिंदा आदमी चाहिए भैया, नहीं तो मुर्दा है तो नहीं चाहिए हमको. So we need to look at life from a larger perspective. Okay, Dhritarashtra, Sanjay, Arjuna, very confidently entering the battlefield. Conch was blown. Okay, very confident. Hey Achyuta, drive my chariot. Take it to the no man's land in between the two armies. Let me inspect who all have come to fight here. Very confident. We also very confident. And then we reach there. Then we see such big armies. Everyone, majority of those people, they all felt that it will be like a small battle, 5 against 100. Settle, over, go. They never imagined it will be such a large scale. So they all so Duryodhana also went through this. It is said in the beginning of the Gita. And Arjuna also went through this. Now, when did Arjuna go through that depression? Again, the same principle I am saying that all three are teaching us. When he went to the no man's land and saw both the armies, even till that time also it was okay. But then he locked his vision on Bhishma Drona. What happened? That expansive vision, locked. Now, as soon as that vision became narrow, and Sri Krishna also knew that he is not, this is all pseudo confidence, nothing, he will start crying now. So let me make it happen before it begins itself so that he is prepared for the war. So Krishna also prompted, look, this is what, here, look here, Pashya. Oh, as soon as that happened, what happened to him? Dropped his weapons, started shivering, sweating. I said, I don't think we should fight. Vision, narrow vision. This is the condition of Arjuna. And fast forward, 18th chapter, he is again lifted his bow, ready to fight. Yatra partho dhanurdharaha. He has taken up his bow. There, everything gone. Gandivam sramsate hastat. First chapter. So this transformation. What happened in between? Did anything outside change? Was there sudden rains and say, oh, war cancelled, everyone go to your camps. It is raining. Next 3-4 days, it's going to be like this only, they have said. So remain in your camps. When it clears up, we will come. Then we will see, we will again blow conches next time. Till that time, you practice. What? Blowing conch. Because that's all you can do now in the rains. Nothing outside changed. Did anyone change sides? Actually, that Yuyutsu one Kaurava who came, he came long before. He did not come after all this Bhagavad Gita time. He came this side. Now, nothing outside changed. If Krishna wanted, he could have changed. He could have influenced. But he did not. He left it. Okay, nothing changed. But still, Arjuna changed from dropped all weapons and dejected and hating, confidently lifting the bow, ready to fight, and became victorious. What happened? This vision, narrow, got Vishwarupa, the vision of the whole world, that cosmic being. Once that vision came, then the whole transformation happened. I said, oh, okay, I am ready to do whatever you say, because now I know. So this is what is advised to us by the Gita. Krishna Bhagavan speaks later. Before he starts speaking, all these people only demonstrate this, that we need to have a complete vision and not a fragmented vision of life. This itself will help me live a happy life. Second thing, in the very beginning, we also talked about not dying. Not dying, one aspect is being sincere towards everyone and ourselves only, strangling ourselves, whether it is physically, emotionally, intellectually, all this way we are strangling ourselves. I will go through all difficulties just for others. I am ready to sacrifice. If it, honestly speaking, if it is really that spirit we are doing, then there is no room for complaint. But often what happens is, we may do it sometimes with that genuine spirit of sacrifice, but sometimes we do it because we are supposed to be doing it, or we don't know how else to do. And when we do that way, we feel the pressure. And then that erupts at some point. And whoever is around, their prarabdha. Can't help it. But that erupts. And I have been doing for so long this way. I have been taking all your nonsense. I also have some individuality. I also am an independent entity. I also have my own rights. And everyone around is completely confused that who disagrees with you? Yes, you are. But then we thought that this is how you are. We didn't know that you're suppressing yourself, strangling yourself, and doing something. So not to die also is, we objectively view. I'm not saying we go to that other extreme of being entitled to everything and feeling that I will do only this much. Rest all I don't know. It is none of my business. Not that way also. Or I should get this. Not that kind of thing also. Yes, sacrifice is natural, it comes to me, but we need not strangle ourselves to that extent where we are not able to, again we burn out. So, to be able to understand that all of us are in a journey and all of us have our own contribution to whatever life has brought to us, whether it is our family, whether it is our workplace, whether it is our community, or whatever it may be. To have that ability to just look at life as it is and to just offer my contribution and also accommodate others' contribution. Okay. And I have sometimes saying no. This is something typically very few people know. Saying no is either we go to the extreme of being so rude and spoil our relationships in that process of saying no, or we never say no, even if we are trampled. Okay, you use me as a doormat, never mind, but I can't say no, what to do. So these two extremes we know, but then to be in between, that yes, if I can, I do it, but so far and no further. This mindset is required to be able to communicate it also clearly. That yes, this much I can do, definitely, but beyond that may not be possible. So to be able to assert myself, that is also required. I don't have to agree to everything, because even if I agree it with my heart, it's okay. But sometimes I suppress myself and then I do it. So to have that individuality is important, but by itself that individuality also sometimes gives pain, because after all it is a limited entity, and anything limited will give me sorrow. So I have to discover my identity. Bhagavad Gita, in the first chapter, we may feel that Arjuna is actually looking for understanding what his duty is or what he should be doing. So it is action oriented, we feel, but more than action oriented, it is actually the role oriented inquiry. The basic question that Bhagavad Gita answers is not what should I do, but it is who am I. And this clarity will lead to understanding of what should I do also at every step of life. So who am I? Now again, we are not going to the second chapter and forward. I'm just sitting in the first chapter only to get all these answers. Who am I? What is my identity? Dhritarashtra, we already saw, he has already accepted a fragmented identity of his. Knowing very well that his son is on the path of adharma, knowing very well that what Sri Krishna is capable of, knowing very well that Sri Krishna is in the opposite camp, knowing very well what all injustice Duryodhana has done, knowing very well that these Pandavas are capable of teaching a lesson and killing all the Kauravas. They don't need 5 brothers also. One Bhima did it. Alone Bhima has killed all the 99 Kauravas. Yuyutsu, of course, was this side, but Bhima was single-handedly killed. They did not need a second brother also. He knew it. Still, he chose that. Because of what? Attachment. And that is why he was not just blind by his eyes, he was blind with his emotion also. But he could not think straight. He knew his Ved Vyasji first, Ved Vyasji did not give the divine vision to Sanjaya directly. He offered it to Dhritarashtra. He said, you have never seen anything. This is going to be a very, very big event in your lifetime. Do you want to see? Your entire family and extended family and all the other kingdoms are involved. Would you like to see? Dhritarashtra knew very well deep down that all my sons are going to get killed. How can I see it myself? And the very first time I'm seeing my son, and that too I'm seeing him get killed. I can't do that. So therefore he requested, which means what? He knew that this is going to be sorrow. Still his identity was only this. And when all of them went, he went into depression. Dhritarashtra went into depression for 15 years. He could not even think straight. All he kept doing was donating lot of cows and gold and all in the names of his 100 sons who had perished in the war. That's all he did. He could not think of anything beyond that. And Yudhishthir, of course, was very supportive, and also he said, okay, whatever you want to do, you are my uncle, whatever you want, we will do that. But he used to be, pricked and pinched by words of Bhima especially, who used to constantly remind him, what is this, what are you doing, your sons have gone, and 15 years have passed, what is this? So still he could not get that vairagya, he could not get that detachment. After 15 years of his sons passing away, still he was attached so much. He could not get himself out of it. It is thanks to Vidura and of course Gandhari and Kunti and all these people. They all kind of helped him, supported him, and then pushed him out of this. And ultimately he decided now he will retire to the forests as a Vanaprasthi. So he became Vanaprasthi after his sons perished, after the next generation had taken over. 15 years he stayed attached to everything. Then he left. He could not leave. This is what, when we have a narrow identity, cutting off so many parts of myself, this is what happens ultimately. I don't know, I can't think beyond that. That is all. And now what do I do? Because that aspect is gone. So now I don't have an identity. I don't know who I am. I don't know what am I supposed to do. What else can I do? And the worst part is, that kind of life I still glorify. And I say, so selfless. Arjuna also, same thing, the seed of Bhagavad Gita, same, this role clarity, lack of this role clarity is not just actions. He came there, what is the request he made to Krishna? He said, Kair maya saha yodhavyam asmin rana samudyame. I want to see who has come to fight with me. Means, these are all soldiers, these are all, army generals. These are all warriors, and I want to see who has come to fight with me, or I want to see whom I have to fight with. So which means what? He himself, what was his identity when he was asking that question and requesting Krishna to take his chariot to the no man's land? What was his identity? His identity was, he was a warrior, he was a soldier. He was there to protect the land, he was there to protect the principles of dharma. That was his identity. As soon as he stood there and looked at everyone and locked his vision in front of Bhishma Drona, then what happened? Suddenly, Tatra Pashyat Sitan Partha Pitru Natha Pitamaha. There were uncles, grandfathers, granduncles, cousins, all these Putran, Pautran, Sakhins Tatha, sons, grandchildren, grandsons were also there. There were like 7 generations of the family fighting this war. And in between was Arjuna. So his sons, grandsons were also there. Everyone, and Sakhi, and rest all who were not related, they were all friends. In both the armies. Now suddenly, when will I see a father? When my identity is a son. When will I see a brother? When my identity is a brother. When will I see a friend? When my identity is a friend. What did he start off as? A soldier. What did he end up as? All these different relations. Fragmented identity. And then he said, how can I fight? And from that standpoint, if you say, how can I fight? It looks valid. But the identity itself is wrong. The role that is assumed itself is wrong. So how do we reconcile this? How do we understand this? Bhagavan says, who are you? And who are these people? First think about that. So this vision itself is creating this sorrow, this depression. This is the real depression, not the one which we refer to as. This child did not get ice cream, so he is depressed. Not getting ice cream, it is called, he is sad, not depressed. His friend fought with him, so he is depressed. It is called sad. Let us start using the word, simpler word, sad, S-A-D, simple to pronounce, simple to write, simple to remember. Depressed, why to use such a heavy word? And clinically depressed is not a case with majority of the people. मेहनत लगती है डिप्रेस होने में. दुखी तो सब होते हैं. So let us use simpler words in our day-to-day life. So, but here Arjuna actually got into that state of dejection. In fact, even Gurudev in his commentary, he used the word dejection. He doesn't use the word depression. He is dejected. That happens. So, why? Identity. But what is the real identity? Who I am? At least the transactional identity has to be completely understood. We are not even talking about spiritual absolute identity. We are not talking about I am Sachidananda Brahma and all. That is all okay. That is also, that is the truth, no doubt. But at least in the Vyavaharik level, in the transactional world, at least at this level, we need to have that clarity. Who am I? What am I supposed to be in relation to all these different, and all these different relationships do not fragment me and break me apart. I am one whole. I have to remember that basic identity. So even as a mother or a father, a brother or a sister or a friend or whatever, all other identities, am I also not the devotee of the Lord? Am I also not a spiritual seeker? All that identity is also a part of me. If someone is an artist, I am also an artist. So I should, that also is a part of me. I need to give space to that also to exist. So if I have that complete clarity, and the dominant identity will always be determined by where I am. For example, at this time in this place, I am a speaker. Does that mean I should speak after this time, this class also? I keep on talking, keep on. I don't know, he's assumed this identity forever. No, he doesn't stop. So what we do is we sit till the time we can tolerate, and then we get up and go. He keeps talking. That will be something off. Then some medical intervention will be required at another level. So I cannot assume one identity everywhere. I am talking of only the transactional identity. I am not talking about. But as a devotee of the Lord is everywhere. I can be that everywhere. But every place, now if I am a teacher and I am in the front of my class, I am in the school, I am a teacher, I have to be primarily a teacher. There suddenly I should not become a mother. And say, all these are my children. I love you so much. You have not done homework? Never mind. Do it tomorrow, okay? There you are a teacher. You have to see what is the best for the child as a student and do that. Suddenly, don't. Yes, the teacher should be having that motherly qualities understood. But still, my dominant role has to be clear. Like Arjuna, yes, he has to have humanitarian approach towards society, but in the battlefield, he is a warrior. You can't say, अरे ये बाण मारो तुमको चुभेगा तो नहीं. I will send you first aid first, then I will shoot. Humanitarian, human rights for terrorists. Where are we? What are we doing in the world today? So, individually at least, we need this clarity about our role. So, if we have this role clarity, we will understand what is my purpose that I need to fulfill, and I have to engage myself in meaningful activity. This is what the Gita advises us. It doesn't matter whether it is first half, second half, it doesn't matter really speaking. But second half, all the more. Now, only one last point I want to say and we'll close, because I know many people are wondering. I was told that this is only till lunchtime, and I don't know what is lunchtime according to Swamiji, but I hope he will finish soon. So, I will. One point. I have time. Thank God. No, because I'm seeing the watch now only, but earlier I was seeing the faces. That's why.
Swamiji, you please stop. The food hasn't come.
See, identity, honesty of the identity. Okay. So now, yeah. So then, one point only, but then now I can elaborate a little more. When we talk of the second half of life, typically from the perspective of our cultural guidance that we have received from the rishis, etc., our life is, the entire lifetime is divided into 4 quarters. We all know this. This is a very, popular system of ashrama, it is called. So, first is a student life, which is brahmacharya ashram, where we are expected to study, obey, that's all, no other duty. Second quarter is the grihastha ashrama, or the household life. Third quarter is the vanaprastha ashram, or the retired life. And fourth quarter is called the sannyasa, renunciation. So now, when we talk of the second half, means it is the third quarter that we are talking about, and it is not strictly 25 years, 25 years, 25, 25. It is not strictly like that, because we do find that there are certain responsibilities that need to be taken. So we cannot directly, have that age specific, but it is also a growth. It is kind of a evolution that we go through. So it is not specifically 50 years ho gaya, chalo, vanaprastha. Where is the forest? No forest. So we don't need to do that, because then we will be transported to everyone to, in ships to Africa. There all jungles are there available. So send all of them above 50 to that. That we can't do. That is not what our rishis want us to do. We need to understand the real meaning of vanaprastha, but vanaprastha will be possible only when the previous 2 quarters have been properly, spent. Why are you saying that to us now? Because now if you say anything, then we will only feel guilty, we will only regret what to do. No, not to worry, because certain minor adjustments we can do now also. If something is incomplete, you can finish now, before we enter vanaprastha. Okay. So now, as we said, brahmacharya ashram, student life, is primarily obedience, and under obedience only study also comes, because the teacher, what will the teacher say? Study. So you have to obey that also. So there is no other responsibility, no other duty. Only one objective. What do I do as a student? Obey. Obey my teacher. That teacher could be mother, father, that teacher could be the teacher in the school, that teacher could be some, acharya or guru or someone, whatever it may be. But obey the teacher, is the only duty, and therefore that is the reason this particular role is the reason why many of us sometimes feel like going back to school days, because no other responsibility, just obey. That is why we would want, array, such golden days, I want to go back to my childhood, I want to go back to school days. What school days? You always used to skip school because you didn't like going to school. I didn't like going to school, but I want to go back to school days. Why? Because no responsibility was. I have to obey, that's all. So I didn't have to take any burden of life. Okay. Now after that, when the studies are done, you graduate, and then now you are expected to take responsibility of society. So after graduation, grihasthashram. Now grihasthashram means what? That it is again an expansion. Expansion means we have lived, study centric life, and we have lived alone in a way. Of course, we were sharing space with fellow students and all, but everyone had only one focus: obey the teacher. Teacher said, all of you sit down, everyone sat down. So it was a very supportive peer group that we had. It was a community which was totally giving help to each other. And I'm talking about the Gurukul type of education. Now there are other peer pressure problems also, that my friend got this toy, so I also want this toy, and all those kinds of demands are there. But that demand does not fall into brahmacharya ashram, because there's only obedience, so no demands. Like that we have not lived. Never mind. But whatever you got, you got. Whatever you did not get, you did not get. We didn't have a choice. We didn't say, no, if you don't fulfill my demands, then I will walk out. Out where? Maximum from the bedroom to the hall. That's all. I can't walk out too much. I am dependent. So, but Grihastha ashram, have to take responsibility beyond myself. And that is why there is an institution of marriage, where I give, kind of space and accommodate another person. No two people think alike. Even identical twins don't think exactly alike. So if there is this marriage, there will be disagreements. There will be friction. Sometimes there will be fireworks also. It will be there. But to accommodate one more way of thinking and jointly shouldering the responsibility of the family and society, that is the institution of marriage. That is what is Grihastha ashram all about. The three ashrams other than Grihastha ashram does not have the right to earn money, cannot earn money. Brahmacharya ashram, because only obedience, no, you are totally dependent. Vanaprasthi is after retirement, what earning money? Sannyasi, no earning money. So then, who will take care of these three? The one who is allowed to earn money, and that is Grihasthi. So Grihastha ashrama's duty is not just taking responsibility of the family, but the entire society, especially of education, senior citizens, education of children, brahmacharya ashram, senior citizens, vanaprastha ashram, and sannyasis. So this is the duty of a grihastha ashram. So this is the second quarter of life. And because someone is shouldering responsibility, obviously, if someone is given some responsibility, they are given some space of, some privileges are also given. That if you do this work, For example, if I have to do some work in, let us say, a laboratory in NASA, if I am employed and I am given that job of doing something in the laboratory of NASA, then I will get access to it. That's my privilege. I will have access. I can enter the premises of NASA without taking any prior permission or anything, because that freedom is given to me because I have shouldered that responsibility of doing that project or whatever. Similarly, if I have taken the responsibility of this entire society on my shoulders, I have the privilege of enjoyment. Means brahmacharya ashram, vanaprastha ashram, sannyas ashram, no enjoyment. No enjoyment, no indulgence in sense pleasures, etc. Enjoyment means I can enjoy life, but without indulgence in sense pleasures. I can get entertained by watching my mind, but no sense pleasure. That is not allowed. But for a grihastha ashrami, it is allowed. Because you are taking up responsibility. चलो थोड़ा मूवी देख लो जाके, थोड़ा पार्टी कर लो, allowed. Okay. Some space is given. Now, if I have lived my life, shouldered this responsibility, and ensured that I also pass on all the traditions that have come to me from my forefathers to the next generation, then I evolve to say, now I have to go within for higher pursuits. Means grihastha ashram has to be living for others, and vanaprastha ashram is evolving to turn within. And why I said that we have to spend the previous years properly, we should have had the knowledge gained and lived enough for others so that we can turn within. Because if we do not take responsibility of the society and not live serving others, our mind will not be ready to turn within. We cannot, even if we turn within, it will turn back outwards because we have not done enough. So that seva, which in Gita is called as karma yoga, is essential for my mind to feel that peace, that purity, to be able to turn within and remain happy within, to stay there. So if I have done my grihastha ashrama dharma well, then at the right point, it cannot be mandated by any government or any scripture or anything. That's why scriptures don't talk of age. They just say these are the stages. Age depends on each one of us. Yes, in the workplace and all, we have, okay, this age 60 years you retire. Okay, that is professional retirement. But have I turned within? Have I kind of been able to get that kind of detachment, which Dhritarashtra took 15 years after the Mahabharata war to get? We don't know how long we will take. But that evolution has to happen, that maturity, that ability of, when that fruit is ripe, it just detaches from the branch. That way, am I able to detach? So this is the time I have to work towards that in the second half of my life. It is preparation for Vanaprastha. Now, what is this Vanaprastha? Vanaprastha, the translation, the word meaning is going to forest, departing towards forest. Now, you say, what forest? Where is the forest and how will we go and live? And we don't even, we have not lived in harmony with nature so much that we will be able to survive in the forest also. So many questions are there. Then we say, okay, we will go to some ashram. Then we go to some 5-star ashram and then make our own grihasthi there only. Then there is no vanaprastha, that I have a 5-star ashram situated in the middle of the forest. This is called resort, it is called. Or it is called retirement homes. No, not homes, retirement villas. I go. What retirement? I am still in Grihastha only, still indulging. Mine as the service and the responsibility of the society. That is not one. What is Vanaprastha? Now I say, oh, giving up everything. I said, so difficult, so difficult. Yes, giving up is difficult. But the beauty of our scriptures, beauty of our rishis' advice is they never ask us to give up. You just said that you have to give up. But giving up is a byproduct. Then what do? The word Vanaprastha is Vana and Prasthana. That is how the Vanaprastha word comes. Vanam word means forest, no doubt, but Vana also has another meaning. The Upanishads say, Tadha Tadvanam Nama Tadvanam Ityupasitavyam. Vanam means the greatest, the supreme, the best, the highest is called Vanam. Another word is Varam. Vara. Vara means the best. That is why it is that when Bhagavan comes and then we ask for boon, it is called Vara. Varadan. Vara means the best, because whatever I ask as a boon, will I ask for second grade things? I will ask for the best. That is called Vara. The best. So, Vanam means the highest, the best. Prastha, Prasthan means I move towards the best, the highest. This is called Vanaprastha. Moving towards the highest. So it is not talking about leaving. It is talking about aspiring. And when I aspire and hold, automatically the lower will be left. So the detachment does not become painful. In fact, it becomes liberating. And I say, I found this. So this is my aim. I am not even worried about it. Okay, I have done enough. कभी कुछ छूट भी जाता है तो I don't feel that pain of, oh, now what will I do? I have done enough. Because now I am in the pursuit of something higher. That is called Vanaprastha. To aspire for the higher. And what is higher? More significant, more deep, more lasting joy. Pleasures I have experienced, but what is it that is going to be lasting joy? That highest knowledge. And that is why it is at spiritual pursuits. It is they talk about upasanas and all these things. The scriptures talk about all these things. This is all that only, that pursuing the highest. Tadvanam iti upasitavyam. Upanishad also says that is upasana. Upasana means going towards it, wanting to achieve that highest. For that, I am working. The rest of the things, if they get dropped, they just drop off, it's okay. But if my duties are incomplete, if I have not served enough, then still I will feel bound to doing more. So even if I want to aspire and I jump towards getting something, but this will pull me. And that is why I said, if there are some residues, I can fulfill now before I move forward towards that Vanaprastha life. And Puja Gurudev says, if I have the Vanaprastha mindset, my home is the Vanam. My home is the forest. I don't have to go somewhere to a geographical region. My home itself. And Gurudev, so many letters he has written. He has talked about this to so many people. He has said, these are like Gurudev's words, as much as I remember, I am saying now. He has said, vacate the master bedroom. Give it to your children. You move out to another room. Have minimum requirements there. No lavish lifestyle. Live a life of sadhana. and pursue the highest in your home. That is also vanaprastha. And he said that unless you are consulted, don't interfere in the matters of the home. If you are consulted, yes, you can give your advice, you can, otherwise don't interfere. Let the next generation take over. This mindset is vanaprastha. And that is why Bhagavan says in the very beginning of the Upadesha, in the second chapter, what does he say? That, oh Arjun, you talk like a very, scholarly person, but at the end of it, you are behaving like this. Na anushocanti panditaha. Really knowledgeable people don't grieve. There is no reason for you to keep grieving. Acha. Why should I not grieve? Because this whole world is made up of only two types of people. Acha, only two types? Yes. Gata soon, agata soon. People who have gone and who are going. Any third category? This person gone. Okay. This person going. That's all. Nobody else. Two categories. Now, if going in future will become gone, है से था हो जाता है. That is called history. So now this going, and where is there to grieve? Then what do? I pursue something which is not going or never going. And if I can hold on to that, then going and all these things will not matter much. So what is it that goes and what is this that stays? Dehi nosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yovanam jara tatha dehantara prapti. So Bhagavan says this body itself undergoes so many changes, but my identity never changes, right? My childhood body, is it there with me now? No. This body, after 7 years, all the cells would have changed. It is not going to. We have changed so many bodies. Our age divided by 7 is the number of bodies we have changed now already. Because every 7 years, all cells are changed. The older ones die and the new ones have come. So many bodies I have changed within this lifetime itself. I don't feel any pain. When we go for an overhaul, complete change, that okay, this discard and get a new one, fresh one, chubbier one, cuter one. So when I get, because even a donkey's child is chubby and cute only. Only when growing up, that's when we all, whenever our childhood photo is so cute, can't believe this is this one only now. So it happens, but when that change happens, then everyone is like, why this change? But like this body, when it is undergoing change, I don't get affected. Major change happens, why should I get affected? Then that I, who is this I? Try to hold that. That is Vanam. And to move towards that, to know more about that, to experience that, that is called Vanaprastha. And when that happens, then sannyasa is natural. And after that, it is not like a ritual or anything. It is natural. That my mind is established there, and then after that, there is no two. So, in whichever phase of life we may be in right now, it is important for us to move forward purposefully, meaningfully, with the guidance of scriptures like the Gita. And we hope that we will make this life, the human life, successful and fulfilling. We'll chant Bhagavan's name for some time and then we'll close here. नारायण जय नारायण जय नारायण जय नारायण नारायण जय नारायण जय नारायण जय नारायण नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण नारायण हरि 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 नारायण नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण बोलिए श्री लक्ष्मी नारायण भगवान की, श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। हरिः ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम।